All right. Welcome, everybody. XBL Party USA stream episode 16. Coming off the release of a game of the generation. Yes, I'm talking about what you see on screen, that Elden Ring goodness. It has got me good. What has also got me good is the wonderful guests I got with us tonight. We got Jasper Gaming and Noof Nukem. We're going to find out what they've been up to here in just a second. But anyway, it's nice to see everybody. It's nice to be seen with what's going on in the world these days. Just be excellent to each other. And Jasper Gaming, man, let everybody know where they can find you and what have you been playing.
Yeah, I've been playing Elden Ring like everyone else. You can check me out at Jasper_Gaming_ on Twitter and Jasper Gaming on YouTube. I kind of stream just random games every now and then, whenever I feel like it, just whatever I want to play. So check it out.
And Slayer exclusive. How you been, brother? What you been playing?
I'm all right. I've this week has been kind of slow, but I pretty much just played. I continued my regular games: Kings of Amalur, Re-Reckoning, a little bit more of Dying Light 2. I finally got into the Central Loop, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Honestly, a couple of indie games, but yeah, other than that, that's about it. Kind of quiet.
You're not playing Elden Ring?
Nah, see, I don't want. I'm not like I made a pact with myself a long time ago that I would not play too many games at once because I hate when I always come back to one of them and I'm like, man, I don't even remember what I did last time because I'm playing too many of them at the same time. So
wait a minute, you made a pact? What?
Yeah.
Did you summon the Satan and said, I wanna play one game at a time or something like that? Like,
yeah, he was gonna, I traded my soul for it,
there we go. Instead of
Yeah.
just controlling it by yourself, you thought, I can do this by myself. And
You see, Fabio, it's a lot easier to keep a promise to yourself than it is to other people.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. As unfortunate as that is, it's true. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was just like there was a point in time where I was playing like maybe 5 games at once, and I was just like every time I was coming back to like one of them, I'd be like, what the hell did I do last time? Like, what was the story about? And it was just too much. It was too much to keep up with. So now it's like, all right, I'll play like 2-3 games tops. So right now I have Kings of Amalur, Dying Light 2, and every now and then I do Elder Scrolls Online. But even though that's the case, I may play Elden Ring probably tomorrow just to kind of start it off. Because there really isn't a story there. It's just gameplay. So I know deep in the background there is a story and lore and everything like that. I know those games are like that, but it's not you don't have to necessarily like follow it too much. So at least I haven't with the Dark Souls games, so it's all good.
Oh, same here. The earlier Dark Souls games, I was I couldn't stand it. But this one is a lot different.
And I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but that's a little harsh for me anyway. I wouldn't say that, but I enjoyed the Dark Souls games. I did. It's just that, for me, when you have to actually like look into the story yourself, I'm less inclined to do that than for it to kind of like, like if there's like something like, okay, like the game tells you a story and then, they're like, okay, well, there's certain things you have to kind of look up to understand, kind of like League, I guess. League has like a lot of lore, but there's also like a lot of in-game stuff that you can kind of figure out the relationships between the characters, and then like the rest of you have to look up, but that's fine. But then like, yeah, when it comes to like games like this where it's like, okay, you kind of just have to use your imagination or just look it up, then it's like I'd rather
just read like a 10-page wiki on a character to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I didn't know Halo had as much lore to it until I went to the wiki and I started reading. I was like, oh goodness, they really went in depth with this, haven't they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean they have like what 5-10 books on it or something like that.
A lot more than that. It's just like there's like stories that take place like thousands of years before you even know Master Chief was alive. So
yeah, I mean the game that I've gotten the most into lore wise has to be like Warcraft and World of Warcraft, like on 1,000% for me. That game like really like that game was a big part of my life for like most of my middle school and high school years, so it was inevitable. But yeah.
And Fabio, tell us, Fabio, what have you been playing? How are your goats? guitars, and what is the price of milk and bread there in Brazil?
Are you really going to stick with that? Like this is
It's funny.
You're just not going to stop asking
Hey,
that shit.
last week you were milking stray cats to save money on milk.
What?
So don't start.
I'm milking your mom. Excuse me.
Oh.
No, just-
Damn, what the? Oh man, okay, all right. This
okay, I'm stop. Sorry about
will be a
that.
family show, but I guess
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Not tonight.
There you go. But like, wait a second. Who
Get
said
him,
we are not
Marbles.
going to offend each other? I love you, Bob. But okay, here's
It's
the
not about
thing.
offending each other, man.
I was actually I didn't play anything this week. Actually, like because I've been having so much work for this specific week. I don't know what happened, but everything decided to okay, Fabio, you need to do this report. Fabio, you need to do this experiment. And so yeah, I wasn't able to do anything.
Well, you're
And
coming up on finals, aren't you?
the only thing that I what sorry?
You're coming up on finals, aren't you?
What do you mean by final? Sorry about that.
Like final exams.
Final
yeah.
exams for college.
Not just exams, but I do work on in a lab about computational chemistry in the university. So I do have not just to take care of my exams, but also take care of the work that I do there. And beside the only fun thing that I managed to do was just to watch the new Batman movie, and that's it.
That's right.
Yeah,
And when
that thing got
college
like
is
a
over
10.
with, Fabio is starting up a Portuguese show in Brazil.
Ah, God damn it! Why are you again trying to?
With Fimber as co-host.
Denver, there you go.
I'm not doing a Brazilian show. Not yet. Not yet. Don't have the time for that. Yeah, but we'll see.
Okay.
Maybe.
And last but not least, Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom himself, Noof Nukem. How you been, brother? And you told me earlier you weren't playing Elden Ring. What have you been playing?
Boom, boom, kaboom. Yes, it's Noof Nukem in the room, baby. What's going on? No, I have not played the Elden Ring. Listen, I've already invested in the engagement ring and the reading ring, and I've already got kicked in the nuts twice. So do I want to go third time? Elden Ring will just have to wait. No one else, in all fairness, I've seen a lot of people showing off footage and pictures and this, that, something else. It's all over the place. It's the talk of the town right now. So it's very hard to ignore, but I've been burned several times with From Software games, not because they're bad games, they're amazing games, but they just haven't been my bag. And I don't know, is this one enough to change my mind? I guess only time will tell. I just don't think I want to go invest $90 Canadian to find out I don't like something. That's a big investment. If this is on Game Pass or something, sure, that's a different story, but it is not. So I'm not sure if I really want to go that far in, even though everybody's saying, well, this one's a little bit different. This one's a little bit that, but we'll talk about that in a bit. As far as playing things, yes, I've been playing the other amazing game that came out a week before this one, Horizon Forbidden West, baby. And that game is unbelievable. I love it. It's awesome.
I have that game.
PlayStation fanboy detected. No, just kidding.
I pre-ordered Forbidden West, and it's sitting on my PS4 Pro right next to me. It's loaded up, and I haven't even started the game.
Nice.
Because I went right from Dying Light 2 into Elden Ring. And
yeah, I think that actually that's a shame, in my opinion, for Horizon Forbidden West, because I do believe that the game is really good, but sadly it came out really close to Elden Ring, so everybody's just talking about that.
You don't think they're going to take the Electronic Arts stance on why Battlefield failed? They're going to blame it on, like they blamed it on Halo. Forbidden West, they're going to blame it on Elden Ring?
Forbidden West is doing fine on its own. It's selling a ton.
Here's the thing, even though I do think that it is a shame that it came out right before Elden Ring, I don't think that Horizon is going to fail. I think it's going to be really successful, actually.
Yeah, I think it still probably did above the first game in sales wise, so it's all right.
Like I said, I haven't played Forbidden West yet. I got it, it's downloaded. But I enjoyed the first game so much, like the lore. like before I started playing the first game, I wasn't really sure what to expect because everything you had seen so far didn't really delve into the backstory. You were just kind of like, okay, I'm primitive. And then you find out, no, you're so many centuries into the future. And you start going through and finding out that the machines actually took over this world. And after I found that out, I was hooked. I was caught. And the worst
Wait,
part
they
about that was
stole the
having
plot
to
from
learn that
Terminator?
as her as a child.
They stole the plot from Terminator?
Sorta.
It's similar to it,
Apparently, yeah. Apparently,
Yeah,
These
That's
were
the
robot
case.
animals, though, instead of robot soldiers.
yeah. They were. It was originally designed to protect the Earth, but then something modified, like the coding or something like that, and then there was like this other crap, and yeah, it's kind of complicated. So I can't really sum it up for you, but all I know is the game was hot damn awesome.
It was Skynet. Skynet did it.
I got I have it on the PS5, and the graphics are melting my freaking face. They're amazing. My God, the detail. That was one of the problems of the original Horizon Horizon Zero Dawn, was that even though the faces look good, the animations were very stiff. There was a lot of lifelessness to a lot of the characters, and even the voice dialogue was a bit cheesy. In this one, they've definitely fixed that big time.
Yep. I've seen all the videos, and I like what I see. Just kind of.
You can only play so many games, right?
You can. I didn't finish the story on Halo Infinite. I didn't finish Far Cry 6. Now I've moved from Dying Light 2 into Elden Ring, and I've got Forbidden West waiting for me on my PlayStation. Damn. I got to get all this done before Starfield comes out.
See?
Starfield's going to have me.
Like
This is what I'm talking about. This was my issue too, where it would just be like game after game. I'd be like, all right, now this new game came out. All right, let me check it out. And then like I would just forget about the other games, and I would never finish games. And it was just like, damn.
I got to ask you guys a question about Elden Ring, and this could be a buying feature or not. So when you clear an area, do the enemies automatically respawn when you come back there?
Only if you go to a grace site. The normal enemies will respawn, but the bosses won't respawn.
Yes.
Okay.
If you go to where you find a site of grace,
Mm-hmm.
let you go to the site of grace, and when you come out of the site of grace from resting,
Mm-hmm.
all the normal enemies in that area are back. So it makes farming real easy. Like this area you see me farming right now,
Right.
there's a site of grace right there behind that soldier. Well, I can clear the whole camp and then go just sit at the site of grace and then stand right back up, and everybody's back. But if there was a boss in the middle of that camp, all the regular soldiers would respawn, but the boss would be forever gone.
Okay. And
Yeah, it's just like
do
the
the
Dark Souls
enemies
series, too.
then level up per se, or they always sort of stay at the same experience
They
level?
always stay at the same experience. So as you get more powerful, the area that you start in will be a cakewalk, and you'll have to start moving through the map.
That's good to
Enemies
know.
just like in different areas, they'll have stronger enemies of the same type of enemy, pretty much. But
Right. Okay. But at least then, if you're more powerful, in all likelihood, you could come back to the area and basically just mop the floor with these suckers.
yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
and find all the stuff that you didn't find before because you were running for your life.
Okay.
So that brings us right into our first topic. So I saw it, the Metacritic, the top 20 games that Metacritic has ever scored. And, it's not in the top 50 percentile. It's not a 98, 99, or 100, which I don't think anyone's got 100. But it is a 97. And I got to be honest with you. Short story, when the very first Souls game came out, my brother-in-law, huge gamer like I am, he played it. And he was like, dude, you got to check this game out. And so I was like, okay. So I played it, and I was like, man, I got killed in 5 seconds. He was like, no, that's part of the game. You keep playing it until you level up to the point where you can get past what killed you. And I'm like, dude, that's stupid. I don't want to play the game just to die. And from that point on, I said, Soul game? Nope, not playing it. This one is different because if you come across an enemy where you go and you hit it with a heavy attack or you throw one of your best spells at it and you don't do at least a third of its health damage to it, you could turn and run away and go fight something else and get enough runes, which is what you use to level up in this. Get enough runes so that you level your stats up and then go back and kick his ass. You're not stuck. You don't have that experience brick wall that you can't get past. And when you finally do get past, you just run into another brick wall. You can explore the entire world and just keep building yourself up. And I've actually been in some dungeons that I probably wasn't high enough level to be in, but I mean, as far as progressing through the map, if you want to say, well, this area of the map is level 1 and this area of the map should be next and what so forth. I've been in some that are probably 5 areas of the map farther than I should have been, but I held my own. And if you die, you have a chance to go back and get your lost runes. And if you can get them before you die again, then you just got to go back. If you die before you get them, though, then all the experience that you've had, and it gets really tough too, because when you get higher level, you're looking at like needing like 20,000 to level up the next time, and so you're carrying like 15 on you because you can't use them yet.
6,000 to level up.
Yeah, I'm not that far yet, Jasper.
Like, I'm really curious about that because you did mention that it's not necessary for you to spend some time doing only one stuff so you can go to the next brick wall that is going to stop you. So you're telling me that different from any other Souls-like games, in Elden Ring you don't have to farm at all?
You can. It's a choice. You can stand around and farm. Like, I farmed this area you see on screen right now. I farmed this camp for a couple of hours because there is a brass shield that will absorb 100% of damage. And it's a drop, and the drop doesn't happen very often. So I wanted that shield, so I sat around and farmed it. But the whole time I farmed it, I was building experience. And to be honest, I think when I got done farming this, I went to the site of grace, and I think I leveled up 6 times. So, but to be clear, as you're exploring around the map, and this is a huge map, it's gigantic. You're always finding little things. You're like, wow, I've walked past that place twice, and I didn't even notice that was over there. And so you'll go over there, and it'll be more runes that you can cash in and level up. But the normal enemies that you just come across in the world, except for some higher areas, the normal enemies are pretty, they're challenging, but they're not extremely difficult. It's the bosses that in certain areas are extremely difficult. Like these guys that
Okay, so we just lost our host. So who wants to continue to discuss about video games?
I'm the only other one that's played Elden Ring here.
Go for it.
Yeah, it seems so. So what could you say about?
He's back. He's back. There you go.
There you go. So we don't have to say how much we hate about Power Man 4K and yada yada. No, just kidding.
that was so weird. I didn't do anything. I just looked up, and all of a sudden it was like enter studio. And I'm like, I was just in the studio. Oh well, I don't know.
There we go. Here you go.
But yeah, like I was getting at. So I've explored so much of the map and been so far away from the area that I know I'm supposed to be in that I still didn't have an issue with the normal run-of-the-mill enemies that you come across on a path or in a valley or whatnot. It's when you come to the person at the end of that valley or at the end of that path or at the end of that dungeon, that's when you find out whether or not you're out of your league. But you can still go back to the very beginning of that and pick up your lost runes. With the earlier Souls games, you didn't even have the option to explore. I mean, did you? I don't. Jasper, did you play the earlier Souls games?
The only one I've ever played was the first Dark Souls 1. And I think I finished that. It's been forever since I played that. It was more linear. Like you had to like go through like the wall of enemies to get to the next like bonfire is what they call it. It's like a grace site. So you had to like go through a wall of enemies to get to the next bonfire, and then you had to go to another wall of enemies. It wasn't like an open world where you can go like left or right. It's like just a straight like hallway or hill you go up, you know.
Yeah, and not only that, but they also had the white walls, like the fog walls, which you couldn't like. Usually, you couldn't enter unless like you did something specific, or if you did, then you like it's a boss room or something like that. So yeah, I think this one's way more open world.
And I've almost raged quit several times because, and it's my fault. I blame myself because the mechanics of the game, the buttons that it uses, like I still do it. Like after playing this since Friday, I still like when I go in for a heavy attack with my right trigger. When I back up, for some reason I want to start hitting X for my quick attack. And instead, I drink a potion. I either waste a potion and get out without getting hit, or I waste a potion and I get killed. I'm trying to remember what game, because I know I'm doing it from muscle memory, and I can't think of any game where you hit the X for a quick attack that I've played, and I keep doing it. I still find myself doing it to this day.
Yeah, I still do it too. I don't know what it is, but like when I first started playing, like every other time I would hit X to like attack, I was like, that's not the attack, and I would just waste a potion. But like I'm finally getting it to where it's like, don't hit X unless you need it.
I think Witcher 3 has that, whereas X is the light attack and like Y is the heavy attack, I believe.
Wait a second, isn't that for most games?
Yeah,
Since the
Yeah.
first Dark
certain
Souls?
games, yeah.
I think it's just a habit from like just other games.
Like even from fighting games, sometimes you have the light attack is the X, the medium is Y, and the heavy is B. So
Thumber says it right there. I really do feel your all's pain in Brazil. For those that don't know, Fabio, tell them how much this game would cost you in Brazil.
300 Brazilian reais, which is equivalent to $70. Like this is such a huge amount of money that it's not everyone who is going to be able to do it. So this is why when you asked me before if I'm playing Elden Ring, I had to give you the answer that I'm waiting for a sale because I don't want to spend 300 Brazilian reais in one game when I could be buying five for that price. You know what I mean?
That is just crazy.
I will say that I've enjoyed Elden Ring so much that like I bought it digitally on Xbox. I'm actually looking for the collector's edition now. I'm waiting for like restocks to try to find the collector's edition because I love the game so much.
Is the content on that edition worth it? Because since Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I started to think, okay, I'm not trusting anymore collector's edition.
Well, if you get the physical collector's edition, what I'm looking for, you get like a statue and like an art book and all that stuff. And I've just like enjoyed the game so much that I want like a physical like item from the game or something.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm with Jasper. I've got so many collectibles. Like I've got the Halo Reach statue with the 5 soldiers on the ledge, all with their weapons. I've got the big Marcus Phoenix down with his chin on his rifle statue, and it's so weird to hear myself say this because of how I felt about Souls games in the past, but this one really has got me, and I don't know. I think it's the added exploration and the big ass map that you don't have to go this way and achieve, conquering this brick wall if you don't want to. You can go buff up before you do it. I think that's the part that's really appealing to me over other Souls games I'm telling you, this will just float us into our next topic, I guess. I see a lot of toxic fanboys mad about all the praise Elden Ring is getting because they wanted Forbidden West to be Game of the Year. At this point, I don't think it's going to happen because this game is gold. It's great.
I don't even like Dark Souls games, but like I think Elden Ring might be like in my top like favorite games of all time. Like I don't know, like something just grabbed me with Elden Ring. That's like I'm addicted to this game. I cannot like stop playing it.
Exactly. I think I tweeted out the other day that when I'm not playing it, I'm thinking about playing it. I'm watching YouTube videos on what I'm going to do when I play it next.
Like the other night, I got off Elden Ring. I was going to go to bed. I was like, I'll just look up some Elden Ring videos. And I saw a video. I was like, I got to get back on Elden Ring. So I like went and got back on that to do something. I was like, shit.
Yep, that's why I sat and farmed this camp for 2 hours because, like, I need that shield that I can get 100% absorb on. Oh man, but I'll probably start playing Forbidden West this weekend, and I'll be torn. I'm sure I will be. I won't be. I'm sure they'll both deserve it, but at the end of the day, a 97 meta is just freaking crazy, and I can't remember another 97 plus meta game that didn't get Game of the Year.
I think Breath of the Wild was and Red Dead 2 was the last 97s that I remember.
Well, if we use Sekiro Shadow Dice twice as an example, and that game ended up receiving the award for Game of the Year, so yeah, I believe Elden Ring is going to be the next one.
Elden Ring has actually, because I knew it was a From Software game and all their games are like our Souls-like game, I totally passed on Sekiro's. I totally passed on it. Yeah. But Elden Ring has actually got me thinking about going back and trying these other games. But I'm afraid I'm going to be disappointed because I know they're not going to have the open world that Elden Ring has made me love it for.
Right.
Also, you'd probably rage quit from Sekiro. Sorry, Noof. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, for me, the first From Software game I actually purchased was Sekiro, and I bought that full price. And I bought that largely because, I thought I'd give it a try. It looked really cool, and I'm a big fan of like the samurai nature of things, right? So after playing it for a little while, I just got frustrated, fed up, and traded it in. Shortly after that, I think it was Bloodborne. It was free on PlayStation Network, so I downloaded that and tried playing it. And that one drove me friggin' bonkers. So I didn't get all that very far in that game. And I was just like, yeah, enough of this crap. I'm just going to break something. So, I kind of put that one down and I haven't gone back. Something going to break. I get pretty pissed off. That's the thing. That's the difference between me and 90% of the people that play these games is I got a very short temper. And I got a short temper with even some of the easier games at times for certain stuff. So for me, like, it's either like, I'm just not pleasant to be around when I'm playing games that frustrate me. And something ends up getting broken. It's either a wall gets smashed or a controller goes flying or an Xbox 360 gets destroyed.
Yeah,
I have literally destroyed stuff. So it's not good. It's not healthy.
That's what I wanted to ask. Like, when you play a Souls-like game, how many extra controllers or extra consoles or TVs you have?
I used to be like that, Noof. Like I would like break shit, but then like I punched my desk one time that I broke my hand. I was like, okay, I'm not breaking anything. So once I broke my hand, punched my desk, and pissed off. I was like, I'm done.
With me, it's a double-edged sword because I've got this nice corner-mounted, huge glass desk in the corner of our study, and I'm like, and I've got two, computer monitors to my right, and then a flat screen in front of me, and I got my Pulse Red controller, and I'm thinking, I don't want to break a desk, I don't want to break a monitor, I don't want to break a screen, I don't want to break a controller. I will just suck it up.
And somehow there's always a hammer on the glass desk. just to, just so you can be as calm as possible. You have no idea how that mysterious hammer went there, but it is
Yeah,
there.
like, dear, I don't know how it happened. I wasn't even in the room when it happened. Maybe it was the cat. Yeah, it was the cat. I'll blame it on the cat.
Perfect.
Oh, in other news, it seems that last week to 2 weeks ago, we got that the most used and most popular words in the Microsoft Game Studios offices were New Vegas 2 and Obsidian.
We did talk about that during the last week episode.
Right, we did talk about that it was the most popular, but it seems now it's really starting to get traction. We're definitely going to see a New Vegas 2 given to Obsidian with maybe a helping hand from Bethesda, which will be amazing. I hope they move farther down south so we get to see some coastline.
Hopefully, like the Xbox has managed to over the years since their big acquisitions from 2018, I believe they managed to acquire so many good studios, especially RPG studios in Exile, Obsidian. Right after that, they announced the Bethesda acquisition. They are now announced the Activision Blizzard acquisition, which has Blizzard, which does have a lot of expertise with fantasy worlds and RPG elements. So yeah, I think this is going pretty well, and like it would be they would be shooting themselves in the foot if they didn't decide to use that. They now have the studio that did the game, they now have the IP that is the game, and they are not going to be using that. Like that would be so bad, but hopefully the rumors are true and we'll see something during E3. What do you guys think?
I don't think we'll see a Fallout thing during E3 yet. I think they're still focused on Starfield. So I don't think we'll see anything from Fallout for a couple years.
Maybe just a little teaser or a little music sample just to make us feel like, okay, this is real.
Yeah, I would expect nothing more than perhaps the neon lights of a casino in the distance with the typical protagonist Fallout character resting a rifle on his shoulder in the background. That I would expect nothing more than that.
I don't see them doing New Vegas like 2 though. Like I see them going to a different like place because like a lot of Fallout games, like they come out with a new Fallout game and it's always in a different area. So like this would be the first time we actually went back to his place.
It's going to be New Vegas. That new, you know.
New Vegas. This is going to be so bad to just talk fast 3 times. New Vegas. New Vegas.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. But okay, so do we have anything else to talk about New Vegas? Because I wanted to bring here that PlayStation just released another exclusive. They released Gran Turismo 7. And how is that game doing? Does anyone know?
No one's talking about it because they're all busy playing Elden Ring.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And it looks like the world is moving around the car instead of the car moving around the world.
I think like here's the thing. What I wanted to bring mostly here with this is that I do trust that the developer team did a good job. After all, it's a racing game, okay. But to say that there's a lot of people that are just fanatics that for some reason are just saying, you see, this is the best racing car ever, so much better than Forza Horizon 5. And not only that, but they are comparing clips or screenshots not from Forza Horizon 5, but they are doing comparing from they're making the comparison between Gran Turismo 7 and Forza Motorsport 7, a game that was released in 2017. in comparison with a game that was released in 2022. And for
No.
some reason, the game from 2017 is looking better.
No. When your game's photo mode looks like another game's gameplay mode, you're not better. No.
Yep. Yeah, like I just wanted to point out that people are really going to ridiculous places by with this bullshit that is console wars. Like, guys, it may be a good game. Just play it and have fun, goddamn.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I may stoke the fires a little bit, but I like to play on both consoles. The community that I'm, more closely in tune with is the Xbox community. So my multiplats are definitely there. I'll check out Gran Turismo. I like the earlier ones. The only thing I did not like about the earlier Gran Turismos is that when you were doing 120, it looked like you were doing 60,
Mhm.
and you didn't know if you could take a corner unless you paid attention to what the speedometer said. So I don't know if they fixed that or not,
Did you guys
or whether
see
or not your cars can actually go off track. Can your cars go off track, or do you hit an imaginary wall 3 feet outside the line?
By the way, did you guys see the link that Newf Nukem just sent to us?
Yeah, people are comparing the NPCs of Gran Turismo and Horizon or whatever.
Like,
They're not even comparing cars at this point. They're just comparing characters in a car game. It's like, what the hell?
Like-
you got?
Oh
no,
gosh.
but the problem is like, what are the characters, the human characters in Gran Turismo 7? Like, why do they look
Hey.
like that?
I'm just
What
going to come
did-
out and say, look, fair is fair. I mean, how much shit did Halo take for Craig? Right? So
Yeah,
every other
yeah.
game now is off limits. So no, fair is fair. If the Xbox community wants to
And
torch this one a new one,
343 picked their balls up off the floor, walked
Yeah.
back out on the playground, and they owned that shit. They turned it into a positive.
exactly. I mean, look,
Sh-
I'm all for I like Gran Turismo. Like, I'm a fan of the franchise, always have been. But I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like, honestly, at one point, yes, it was more about Gran Turismo. Now I find it's like Forza has essentially, took the ball, ran with it, and made some phenomenal games. And while Forza continued to improve, PlayStation and Gran Turismo, the franchise, got stagnant. Their claim to fame was the simulation aspect and always having boasting about the most cars. And then eventually, when they got to the point where they had all these cars, well, guess what? Only the most popular models were even rendered from the inside. You couldn't even play in the cockpit mode on half of their cars because they didn't have them rendered. How crappy is that? Forza has rendered every car inside and out. First of all, second, like you said, when your photo mode is your bragging point about a game, and they basically take a 3D rendered car and stick it inside of a real world environment, that's a little copious to me too. Like, that's like, oh, our game's not good enough to stand on its own, so we got to put them in real life backdrops so the car looks, absolutely phenomenal. And I'm not dissing their cars. I mean, every game has gotten better, but from what I can see from the videos and stuff I've seen, yeah, this is definitely a step up from Gran Turismo Sport, which is a half-assed effort. But seriously, this one, look, it might be 2 points higher on a Metacritic, but my God, Forza 7 did this racing shit so much better 5 years ago, and that's a fact. Hello.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
really.
it's just because we were shocked by everything that you just said, because no one has anything better to add. You just said everything. That's it.
I'm 100% new. Totally. I understand. Yeah. I mean, you got one game that has used satellite photogrammetry for the world, and so many passes of cars and scans of cars in that photogrammetry world. I mean, it's no contest.
Like, I am I the only one who thinks that Sony should try to? I don't know if the IP belongs to Sony, or if the IP is still alive or something like that. But I really think that Sony should do like Xbox does, which they have like They have a simulation racing game and they have an arcade racing game. So, and which is open world. So why I always had the thought, why wouldn't they try to make a Rich Racer open world game, but like a way more U-burn open world? You know what I mean?
I don't know, but
Could that try? Could
Thember
they?
Thember has a very good question on screen because I remember the Forza games were without a Supra for a few iterations. Is there a Supra in Gran Turismo 7?
I'm sorry, I don't even remember what is a super.
Really?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
That's not really
sorry.
the Super. It was the Sega GT or the Sega Rally top car.
Ah, okay. Now I remember. So sorry about that.
I don't know. I love racing games. To the point where I've gotten so good at them that the wife will call me in to play a certain part of the game that has a racing section for her because she totally sucks.
Okay, humbleness be damned. I got so good.
So I'll
that
play it. I will play it. But I'm telling you, I've been playing Forza for the last several years, and so that bar that I have is set in stone. And I may play it for 20 minutes and never pick it up again.
Can I give you guys a very unpopular opinion, I guess, on this matter?
Please do.
You know the game Drive Club? In my personal opinion, Drive Club is better than Gran Turismo. It was a better looking game. It was a better playing game. And the problem was, whatever happened, it got half-assed at launch, and it got kind of overly criticized, and then it kind of just went the way of the dodo bird. But I had Drive Club, and I fucking loved it. Drive Club VR was nuts. Drive Club and the motorcycles is crazy. That game looked outstanding. Go play it. Go play Drive Club right now on a PS4, and tell me it just does not stand up against some of the best racers you've seen. It is amazing, but I don't know. And it was made by some of the old racing veterans. I forgot what the studio was, but they were phenomenal. That was good. Like maybe Polyphony should maybe step aside and do something different for a change. Maybe hand it off to somebody else. I don't know. It just feels like they're not pushing the envelope. They're just pushing the name at this point. It's Gran Turismo. It's going to sell on its name because it's Gran Turismo. That's it. But they haven't certainly set the bar in the same way that Turn 10 and Playground have done.
You know, I didn't play Drive Club, but between my Need for Speed phase and my Forza phase of gaming, I did play Midnight Club, and I loved Midnight Club. Midnight Club was amazing. Anything like that?
Oh, the Drive Club was nothing like Midnight Club.
Oh,
Drive Club was basically, I don't know what would you call Drive Club? It was almost like a cross. It was closer to Forza, but the tracks were, I don't know. It was just different. It was I guess it was more like some of the grid games, I guess you could say. Overall,
okay, yeah, I played Grid.
But the graphics and stuff were, like I said, they were incredible in the environments, the tracks, the variety that they had. But again, like I said, it was a very ambitious, right? It was technically supposed to be a successor to Gran Turismo and sort of a gap filler to kind of keep the racing thing alive while the Gran Turismo games were coming out, because there was a long gap in between. And I don't know, like I said, it got delayed and then it got delayed and it came out and it got subpar reviews. I don't even know what the meta score was, probably sitting around the 70s or something like that. But personally, it was one of those games that was a lot higher than its Metacritic score, in my opinion. And it's like, it's not to take away from Gran Turismo. I just felt like that game was actually doing a lot of the things that Gran Turismo failed to do, but it just didn't get the recognition. And I don't know, like it's always hard when you're making a new IP, So, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I just don't the simulation racing games. I like more of the arcadey ones. So like Gran Turismo is just off my radar like all the time because I don't like that style of racing game.
I feel I feel the same way, Jasper, because like I love Horizon, but when I tried to play Motorsport, it was too real for me. I didn't like it. If Gran Turismo was going to go down that, you know, I can't. I'm not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I don't
really
like
not.
being confined to tracks. Like, I want to drive through some fucking trees and shit.
Jesus, wait a second. Is this how you drive in real life?
No,
What?
it's just-
Hot damn! Hot damn!
Hey,
Like,
in case you didn't know, Jasper is he's a Kentucky native, like old Bob here, and we got a lot of trees, and sometimes you just got to drive through the trees.
yeah, you gotta go
sometimes you need
mudding
to. Sometimes you need to chop them down, right?
with the truck.
Yeah, that's right. With your truck.
How are you guys going to survive during winter without wood? Am I right? So yeah.
Electricity.
Oh goodness.
Don't
All
make
right,
this
so
worse to yourself.
do we have any Resident Evil fans out there? Anybody love Resident Evil?
Okay, let's say that I like. No, just kidding. I do enjoy.
Okay. Well, okay. Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 are all getting free next gen updates. And I have seen the screenshots. If you've not seen them, you should go online and look. The screen space reflections on the walls in the
I'm
corridors are amazing. I can't wait to play 2, 3, and 7 like this. It's just like, I don't think
Is he that at IGN? Or
uh
something like that? The screenshots, I mean.
I saw it I saw it at the Gamer yesterday. It was thegamer.com. I saw it.
Mhm.
But yeah, isn't it just it's really refreshing. I can't think of another generational change in consoles where like okay, so when Xbox went to 360 or when 360 went to Xbox One, we didn't see every game get updated for Xbox One. The PS5 and the series consoles, and I think it's got a lot to do with the high overhead of the CPU, adding the Zen 2 in there. All of these old titles are getting updates, and they're beautiful. This is really, we may get more sophisticated and more realism in the future, but as far as a cross generational standpoint goes, this is the best we're going to see. From last gen to this gen, the way it's being supported and the way games are being updated with free updates,
Sometimes
they're
not
they're
so
they're
not
beautiful.
so free.
Yeah, sometimes Sony charges you $10 or $20 to get the next
No,
gen
not
update.
not just Sony, but other companies end up doing that. Fucking EA.
Oh, yeah.
And like it's not as if like you just pay $10 and do that. No, you need to buy a whole new game just to play the next gen version. So you bought the Xbox One
No,
version. Fuck you! You
fuck
need to
that
buy
shit.
now the same game for the next gen version.
I'm not doing that. No.
It's just so like why? Why would you do that? Sometimes Activision did that with Call of Duty. Yeah, it's really annoying.
What annoys me about that is like they charge you an extra $10, like for Call of Duty, for example. Like it's like pay $70 to get the next gen version, but they also include the Xbox One version. I'm not gonna play the Xbox One version. I don't need that. Take the $10 off.
Is it no, not just that, but like they end up charging you way more just because we are giving you a bundle, the Xbox One version and the Series S/X version of the same fucking game. Like, why? Why are you charging me more for this?
All hail smart delivery. All hail smart delivery. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think at this point though, like a lot of companies are just using this now as a money grab, cash grab, really. And most people are either, the average person is not really informed enough to know any better. You know what I mean? I mean, as a matter of fact, some people could end up even going in and buying a game twice. Because look at the PlayStation, a lot of the games have the PS4 version and they have a PS5 version, right? So, for example, who knows? Perhaps somebody goes to the store to pick up a game, picks up the wrong version, picks up the PS4 version unwittingly, comes home, and then the kid's like, "Oh, I wanted the PS5 version," and a couple weeks later, go and buy the PS5, and essentially the same freaking game with a few extra features. And like you said, you're getting that for no extra charge with smart delivery on most of the Xbox games.
I think it's just going to take another year or two until all the current gen games now are being made for the current gen and not back compat and stuff. Once we get a few more years in, it'll be all right. But
okay, fair enough.
Noof just brought up a really good topic that I want to bring up because I watch all the Digital Foundry comparison videos, and when they said that the best way to play Elden Ring is on a PS5 playing it in PS4 Pro back compat mode because it holds a solid 60 frames all the time. Because of smart delivery, are we getting robbed by being able to play that last gen version on our series consoles?
They said in that Digital Foundry video there's a way to trick your Xbox into playing the Xbox One version of the Elden Ring on the Series X, but they said it's not worth it. Just if you have VRR, just play it with that.
No, that happened to me already. Was it two of my games? I was transferring games the other day, and I transferred Mortal Kombat 11 and Hellblade, and I'm trying to boot them up off my external hard drives on my Series X, and it won't let me do it because they have Series X updates, and it won't let me play the freaking games on there unless I basically move them to the hard drive of my Series X. And I think that's bogus to me personally. Because I don't want to take up the space on my hard drive to play essentially an Xbox One version. I should have the option to upgrade it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do get it, but sometimes I think it depends. It depends on what are the new features that you are going to be bringing to me. Are you adding a quality mode, a ray tracing mode, and a performance mode? So, okay, I will accept the changes, I will accept the update. But if you are not doing anything and you are just saying, "Oh yeah, this is just a port," and we are doing
there should be an option
the
that
game
says
the game is
the
exactly
Xbox One.
the game is exactly the same thing, but it has a 60 FPS that is not consistent at all. So why would you force me to update that?
Yeah.
Like for games that I bought from an Xbox One, I don't really care if they got an upgrade or not. I don't necessarily need to play it with the upgrade. I'm trying to save space on my very limited Xbox Series X hard drive.
Yeah, I think Gears 5 has that, where it's if I want to play Gears 5 now, I have to put it on my internal instead of my external.
Yeah.
So when you're installing the game, it should come up with an option. Do you wish to run the original version of the game or Xbox One version without the extra 40 gig update and all of the 4K textures and shit? Or do you want to run it on the Series X? And if you want to pick the Series X, yes, you have to move it to the internal. I get that. That would make sense. But if you just okay, I'm okay playing at 30 frames. I'm okay playing the version I originally bought, the Xbox One version. That's what I'm trying to say. Right?
Yeah, you do have a point.
I'm lucky I still have my Xbox One Series. I still have my Xbox One X, right? I have it upstairs, but I've got my externals hooked up to my Series X, so I don't, take up all the space on the damn thing.
I gotta be honest, I think it's really bizarre the fact that some games, when they are optimized, you cannot play at all them
That's right.
on the hard drive. But some games, even if they are optimized, you can play on a external hard drive. Like Master Chief Collection is one of those. Sea of Thieves is one of those. So what's going on?
I think it's just the way the game's made. Just depending on how they, I guess, made it, it just works with on the Xbox said if you have a fast enough external, some games will allow you to play Series X games on the external, but I don't know.
Quite bizarre.
I did have this Forza Horizon 4, the one that was in the UK. It was recommended that I play that from my SSD, but I played it from my mechanical, and the only difference was load time. That was it. It didn't affect gameplay or anything.
Yeah, I mean that's all the hard drive really does is affect load times pretty much.
So, let's see. Slayer hasn't played Elden Ring. Fabio hasn't played Elden Ring. Noof hasn't played Elden Ring. So, Jasper, this is directed just at you.
Okay.
Hey,
What do you like the most about the game that got a 97 meta?
The world is just like I just like staring at the like being like on a mountain and just like looking like across the map and you see like a castle. Like it just looks so cool. Like the fantasy setting is just like so amazing to me. I don't know.
Yeah. If I haven't really done that. I like the sheer size of the world and being able to go anywhere I see. And if I die there, guess what? I wasn't supposed to be there.
By the way, I just wanted to ask you one thing. Like, even though Power Man is not here, like, did you guys play the co-op mode? Is there a co-op mode?
You can summon another online player to help you in a boss fight.
Just like the same thing with
Dark Souls. Yeah.
Okay. I thought there was actually going to be I thought it was going to have an actual co-op mode. You know what I mean?
No. You can summon a co-op player and play for quite a long time with that player. But at the same time, it also does make you susceptible to people that just want to invade your game.
Yeah, so they are keeping this shit. Nice. Beautiful. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, they kept the invasions, but they made it so that you can't get invaded by yourself, which is good. Because before you could, and that was really annoying. Like you're playing solo and you just got invaded by people who literally do nothing but that. So
yeah, I think there's certain like locations around the map that's like designed for multiplayer battles. So if you just want to go fight other online people, you can like go to certain areas and do that.
Is there now this is the most important question that I'm going to make, because even though I do enjoy the Dark Souls games and all, this is the thing that gets me frustrated. Is there a pause button?
Was there a boss battle?
No, a pause.
button.
Oh,
Can
pause.
I
No.
pause the game? No, I can't. Okay.
No.
Why do
No,
you do
you
this
can
to me?
go to a site of grace and sit there and everybody will leave you alone. If you go to a site of grace and enter the menu, you're safe.
Yeah, you're safe. Yeah.
But if you just go around the site of grace, yeah, you're not safe at all.
How beautiful is that? Like, you are facing a boss fight. You spent a lot of time dying and respawning, and when you are finally close to kill that boss, someone calls you and you need to leave. And you can't fucking pause the game. So that means that you're going to die and restart the whole shit.
Well, that's why you
What
just
you're
don't
trying to
answer
say,
the
it's
phone.
virtually impossible to play that game while your wife is home.
ignore that call. Do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you
okay.
the perspective of a gamer, and I am not answering that phone. They can leave a
Okay.
voicemail.
No, I'm not
Be
just
like
saying that,
Henry Cavill and miss that interview for that new movie, you know, because he's playing well.
I'm not talking about phone calls. I'm talking about someone at home calls you to do something to help.
You tell them to wait.
Yeah, you yell
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, you-
2 minutes. Hang on.
You say, fuck you, leave me alone, I'm playing something here.
Yeah, man. I mean, if it's like, it's probably not that important, right? It doesn't have to be done that second.
You need to help to take your father to the hospital. Fuck you.
All right, well, that's different. I mean, that's an emergency, but I mean, how often is that gonna happen? You know?
Don't say that. You're
Dog
going
is
to-
humping my leg.
What? No. That's very specific. Okay.
Oh my goodness! Did he just say that about his leg? Oh,
Damn dog.
And like you guys just don't miss at all a pause button in those types of games.
I mean, there's certain points that like I want to pause the game, but like I'll just like clear out the area I'm in, and like no one will hit me. So you just like kind of walk away then.
yeah, but wouldn't it be just way more easier? Not saying that the game would be easier, but you would have a much better time if you could at
Yeah.
least do that. Like, because I actually see a lot of people that actually defends this. That of course there's no pause button.
There's
That
a
would be
PC mod that came out where you can pause the game. I saw that the other day. People already made a mod that allows you to pause the Elden Ring.
okay.
Yeah, they should
They
I'm
need an
buying the
option where you can
PC
put down
version
a little
then.
white flag on the ground. The enemies leave you alone.
No, they should honestly implement like the same method that Dying Light does, where like if you're solo, it pauses the game, but if you're not, then obviously you can't pause the game because then you're like you can't just pause the game on your
There we
friends,
go.
right?
There we
But-
go. There
Yeah.
we go.
I mean, I've never played co-op in Elden Ring, so like I don't know. It's more of a single player game, I think. So I don't know if that would really matter.
I got a question for you.
I mean, I would play that game. I'm gonna play that game only in co-op. Like I don't. Hell no. not
I got a
solo
question for
this.
you, Elden Ring guys. Then, have you played this game in co-op mode yet, and how does it work?
So my friends have.
nope.
I haven't played it yet,
Yes.
but my friends have, and they it's it's still a little wonky as it always has been. Like I always hear them like saying like, oh, did you put the sign down? Did you put the sign down? Or like, did you put the password in? Like they have to put a password in.
Yeah.
And then the other person has to like write the password so that that way they know that they're going into that game, because it doesn't work like where you can just invite somebody to your game. You have to like actually find the sign in the world. Like you have to be in the same exact spot. Yeah, you have to be in the same exact spot in the world, just like all the other games. Hopefully you find the sign that they put down, and then you also have to put the password in that they put in.
I think
And
you
then
also
sometimes-
have to activate. There's like a little signpost actually in the world you have to
Yes.
activate first to allow people to put down summoning signs, and then
Oh,
you can
wow.
put down your summoning like co-op sign.
That's different.
So,
then, yeah, that sucks. That's
funny story. I went to a part of the world where you will think they are. So what you need to do is you need to go into your game settings and go to the online section and tell it to display gamer tag instead of character. That way you know whether or not it is a mini boss that has been thrown in by the game because of the area you're in, or whether or not you've actually been invaded, because they will both say the same thing. They will both say you have been invaded, and it will show you a red character. And sometimes it's just the game throwing you an enemy because that enemy is guarding that area of the map. So I went down in a valley, through some water, killed a bunch of skeletons, and when I got so far down this valley, it
Started fighting
said
Bloody
that I
Finger?
was invaded by the bloody finger. And so I ran backwards. And when I ran backwards, somebody else jumped in with they showed their gamer tag. And
No, that's
they
not, that was
killed,
another NPC that is helping you there. That was another player.
was it?
Yeah.
God,
if you kept
why
going
isn't there
farther
a
up that
manual for this
cave-
game?
If you kept going farther up, once you go farther up the cave, he's standing there and you can talk to him.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I don't think people
thought it
can
was a
randomly
real
join
player.
you without you summoning them.
Yeah, you have
And
to
he-
turn
and-
on invasions or whatever.
Yeah, and you can't get invaded unless you're playing with somebody else. So I don't think that was a real player either.
All right. Are we done talking about Elden Ring? Because
I don't know.
The
You were
next-
the one. Like, I'm sorry, but you were the one who brought this.
Yeah, you kind of came back to it. You did like a 180. You talking about racing games, and you're like Elden Ring.
Because
All right,
I
back
love
to
the
Elden Ring.
game. It's really
Like,
got me. I'm seriously
so-
thinking about
so-
playing it when I'm not playing it.
But wait a second, you love the game, so let's jump back to 5
I
seconds
literally
ago
had a
where
dream
you
about
said,
Elden Ring the other night.
"What?"
Jeez.
That's how much I've been playing it.
Well, I was
Did
wondering
you
because
die?
our next topic is
No.
kind of serious.
In my dream, I opened the boss door, and like, what was funny is like, the other day they were testing like the monthly like tornado sirens. So like I opened the boss door and the tornado sirens were going off in real life while I was sleeping. So I heard it in my dream. It was like weird.
What the fuck? Okay, next topic, please.
Okay. Well, the next topic is a serious topic, and I don't know if any other podcasts are going to bring it up.
Be careful.
But I
Be
believe
very careful.
it warrants being brought up. So I understand. We all know what the horrible things that are going on in the world we live in right now. But for that to make it as far as it has, Electronic Arts has begun removing the Russian national team from the FIFA and the NHL series.
They also removed a helicopter skin or something from Battlefield 2042.
I don't know.
No one plays Battlefield 2042, so no one
I'm
cares.
reaching out to you guys because I don't. So part of me says that
it's just dumb.
People that are from Russia and don't feel because I'm sure the citizens don't feel the same way that Putin is instructing the military to feel.
Mm-hmm.
So if they still want to be able to play with the team of their homeland, with the people on that team that they know, in my heart, I feel like they should still be able to do that because they feel a connection with those people.
Wait till EA finds out how many wars America started. Then they'll have to remove like everything from every game. So it's like it's just so dumb to me. Like you're removing something that's like another country like started a war. Okay, like that's on them. That's not like on what's in the game.
Brother, this is Jasper. This come here, buddy. Here's something. This is the USA show. You don't say shit about fucking America here.
No, you do say shit about America because as Americans, we're strong enough to take the criticism.
Of course I say shit about America. I'm from Brazil. Of course I can.
I mean, I still admit I live in the best country ever, but...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we have our flaws like everybody else does, but...
we just start wars. But yeah, nothing. No, just kidding.
Mm-hmm. I'm kicking you out of the podcast right now. That's it. You're gone.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Me personally, I think that's going a bit far. Like stuff. I'm not, I'm no condoning at all for what they're doing against Ukraine. And like you said, I'm pretty sure there's a large contingent of their citizens that are against this and are speaking out. And the ones that probably don't, simply because they're probably a fear for their lives. But I mean, that's kind of reaching. There's like, what are you really proving by taking them out of a game when they've been in there for how long? Like, you can't paint every Russian with a bad brush. No more than back in the day. You couldn't paint everybody from Germany with a bad brush. Like it was the Nazis. It was Hitler. Like it was a certain contingent. That's kind of wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just think that's just freaking companies now trying to do, like I said, this whole Me Too generation, this whole social justice bullshit. That's all this stuff is about at the end of the day, and it means nothing. Like, you think people are going to stop buying their games or something, or you think they won't buy your game because there's a Russian team in there or whatever? Like, I don't know. It's different to ban like a team from a live event per se. Like, I know they're talking about banning, the Russian teams from competing at certain events, but I mean that's for a bunch of different reasons. Like that's also for safety reasons and stuff like that. But fucking like, so what are you going to start doing then? What are you going to start pulling Rocky 4 off the shelf because he fought Ivan Drago or shit like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's starting to get silly. Like that's stupid.
Like I think it's bizarre because you are not punishing the ones who are causing the terrible things that are going on right now. You are punishing your player base, which is from Russia's, and that I bet that absolutely none of them has nothing to do with what's going on. But they are from Russia, so they need to be punished. Like what?
Well, if they're going to go that far, they might as well
Why?
start pulling all the Russian players out of the NHL games.
No, exactly.
You
Like
know what I mean?
yeah,
Bye bye,
No.
Ovechkin. Right? Jeez
Thank you,
Louise.
Noof. I was looking for an honest response, and you gave me exactly what I was looking for, Noof. I commend you.
Well, like I
Yeah.
said, I'm never saying I'm right or I'm wrong, but that's how I feel about it. I think just to tar all the Russian population because they got an idiotic imbecile for a president is not the right way to go about things.
like the same way with City Projects Red. For what I heard, they are not going to be selling any more of their games to Russia.
But see, that's the thing. Like a lot of these companies are coming out and saying we're not selling anything to Russia, but that's because they can't because the government's actually sanctioned Russia. So it's like they're just saying that because they literally
Ah,
can't sell anything now.
yeah, but like I think it's really sad and horrible that some companies are just trying to do some sort of PR bullshits
PR. Yeah.
by just
They're
trying to take advantage of the situation by saying we are pro this, we are con
they're
that. So like just like Activision Blizzard did once. You
I
know what I
mean
mean?
they're virtue signaling on a global catastrophe. That is sick. It really is.
I don't know, man. I
mean-
personally think like first of all, I just want to say like this is a very sensitive topic, and I don't feel too comfortable talking about it, especially because like it's happening in my
So
home
don't talk
country.
about it. No, just
But
kidding.
no, I mean like personally, I think like I'm not gonna like actually speak on what they're doing, but I do think I know why they're doing it, and I think that you guys may not see it, but like we know the toxicity that happens on the internet, and I feel like if they did not do this, I feel like actually it would be worse on them than
Uh,
if they did it.
yeah,
Like
I
I
get
think
it.
it would be a lot worse. Like the
Oh.
backlash from people would actually be pretty bad. Like I think that people would be like, "Why the hell is there a Russian team in this game?" or something. I don't know.
I
I
get it,
just
but like I think that would
Yeah,
be.
but then whoever's
But I
complaining
think
about
it's
that
just.
on Twitter needs to find something else to play. Like,
I mean, of course,
Bullshit
but like
games.
that's the
I
thing,
just
like,
like I just think it's bizarre because they are not like if you take away a Russian team from FIFA, that's not going to make Putin be sad. I cannot play my favorite soccer game because it doesn't have a Russian team. No, like you are just punishing
Ooh,
the player base that comes from Russia. You know what I mean? Putin doesn't
I
give a
like
damn
the way
about
you rolled
this.
that R there, Fabio. You're right at home. Yeah.
Jesus,
Russian, roll up the rim to win.
Jesus Christ.
It just goes back to I don't know. Remember when we all used to play the old Wolfenstein games and the swastika was everywhere in the game, but then in Russia it was
You mean in
censored.
Germany?
Yeah. I said Russia. You're right. In Germany it was censored. It was just like, okay.
I
That
was a
still
Russian.
is.
So that was
Nice.
cool. But this isn't cool. Okay. But anyway.
Like now, the only way they're going to be able to put Russian stuff in games is if they make them the bad guy. Like, which I mean, they already
Well, I
kind
mean,
of
you
were portrayed
look
that
at
way.
you look at video games, especially war-based games or shooting-based games. Like 80% of the time, who was your bad guys? It was
Russian
either
or Chinese.
the Germans, it's Germans, or the Russians. Yeah, perhaps the Chinese. Like, it seems like most of the games always paint them as the villain, regardless. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's almost sad when you think about it. It's like, why are they always going to be the bad guys? So
Okay, forget.
you know.
There we go. Like, forget. We have now two options. Either Call of Duty is going to make the next Modern Warfare be about Russia, or they're going to scratch Modern Warfare and go back to Cold War. So yeah,
All right. Next topic. So a game that I was actually really looking forward to is now on an indefinite delay. We do not know when we might see Stalker 2 because it is
yeah,
a Ukrainian developer.
yeah.
Yeah, I was
And
saying that
it
before the
saddens me.
invasion. Yeah, I was like, that's going to
But
get delayed.
But like this is a situation which makes sense, in my opinion, for them to do that. Like because they need to make sure that they are safe. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Also,
So they were delaying their game because they said that it wasn't in the state that they wanted. That it was in a state that they didn't think was worthy of their fans. And so they wanted to delay it to make it the best game that it could be.
Mm-hmm.
But with what's going on right now, I think everybody's sympathy and understanding would be with them.
mhm.
For
Give
sure.
us the game. Give us the game the way it is right now, and instead of delaying the release, delay the update. Give us the game.
Also, like depending on like how this war goes, like if Russia does take over Ukraine, we'll never get the game because we've sanctioned them to where we won't even get exports.
Yeah, it's a great point. So yeah, I mean, just give us the game in the state
I
it's in
don't
right
even care
now.
about the game like at this point anymore. Like whatever they need to do to like survive. Like I know like since they're probably younger guys, so like they've had to like go into the army because like they've called like a draft in Ukraine or whatever. So like they have mandatory like military service now. All the men do. So like they're
Yeah.
not gonna even be able to make the game. They have to fight. So
Ah, Jesus Christ. Okay, can we change the topic because this is getting
Yeah.
bad. This is not good for us to talk here. This is not a place. This is not a space.
also Ubisoft has offices in Ukraine too. Just
For fuck's sake, are you Jasper? Jasper.
I mean, it's
help me
about
out.
games. That's what we're talking about. Like it's a tough
it's
topic,
still-
but
it's, we all sympathize, and there's nothing we can do about it. We can send our thoughts and wishes, and perhaps even money eventually. But it just sucks. It's a really shitty
Yeah.
situation. But at the end of the day, it's their lives and their families' lives that are most important. The game will wait. I mean, at some point, I'm sure
For
it
sure.
will. I'm sure at some point it will see the light of day. I'm sure Phil and company are watching the situation closely, and but again, like I said, it's their families and their health is priority, and we got enough games to play. So if it's one other game that just got to sit for another while longer till the uncertainty is done, it is. That's all there is to it.
there's nothing we can do about it. We just gotta wait.
That's right.
Yep. Shout out to everybody in the Ukraine. We feel for you. Yeah, we wish you the best through these times. Okay, I'll open to the panel. Does the panel have any topics?
Well, the
topics?
only two things that I have here actually are nothing that big, but Netflix made an acquisition, a game acquisition. They bought the Next Game Studio. The studio is called Next Game. I don't know on which game they worked on, but I think
Who
it's
bought 'em?
fun. What?
Oh.
Sorry,
Who bought them? You said someone acquired them.
Netflix. Sorry,
Oh.
Netflix. I think it's fun because I think it's bizarre. Like Netflix is really trying to invest on the gaming division. Seriously.
I think it was a mobile
Okay.
company though. The game they bought, the studio.
And the other acquisition that just happened is that Epic Games has acquired a music studio called, or music company. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's called Bandcamp. And I think it's a store that sells music or something like that. And there was a really interesting tweet that I saw that said that Epic Games just bought Bandcamp, and Epic Games and the majority of Epic Games is owned by Tencent. So, in conclusion, that means that Tencent is making the acquisition. And yeah, am I the only one who is kind of thinking, okay, this needs to stop? Like,
Yeah,
So, like the case with
pretty
Tencent
much.
and Embracer Group is just getting out of hand, and no one noticed somehow.
I I wanted to give Jasper and Noof a little um, backstory in case they were kind of confused. I started a thing several weeks ago in the podcast where when I came to the end of my topics, I, because there's so many things that
Mm.
aren't covered when people think they should be. So I started several weeks ago. I started in the podcast where when I'm through with my list, I open it up to the panel to bring the topics that they think might need to be touched on, but I didn't bring up. So, and I, for the first couple of weeks, I made that an emphasis, but then I've streamlined it at this point. So now it's like, what do you all want to talk about? And so that's where we're at right now. So I didn't want you to think that I was just by the seat of my pants. This is a normal thing where anything you all think needs to be brought up that we haven't brought up, feel free.
How about all the awards that Xbox got at the recent Dice one?
Yeah. Hey, it. I don't think it's right that Dice gets so overshadowed by the game of the
Game Awards.
But Jeff Keighley's Game Awards. It's, I mean, to me, I know they're not the same thing, but they should be looked at as the same as the Emmys and the what's the one for the daily shows? You got the Emmys, the Grammys, and the Emmys.
Oscars. I don't know.
Oscars. There you go.
The Oscars for the big movies, yeah. And then there's the Tonys, Emmys, Grammys.
Right. I mean, you can't. Well, when it comes to gaming, we only get it one way. We don't get it multiple ways, like movies and TV shows. So, really, here lately, I felt like they seem to emphasize the parts of the industry that the Game Awards these days tends to look over. And I don't think it gets the attention that it really needs because some of these groups really deserve the spotlight, but they don't get it during the Game Awards. And when they do to get it, people aren't paying attention to it because it's not the Game Awards.
Right.
So, yeah, but you're right. Xbox got a lot of awards. Their games, their first party games. But you don't see it on social media at all.
No.
Because it's not the Game Awards.
Well,
because it's not a big commercial event. That's the big thing, and it's not largely funded by sponsorships. It's it's an industry award show. It's the behind the scenes. It's the peers voting for the peers in various categories, and it's certainly an award show that often, or an awards event that is a lot less skewed by perception, or like I said, how much money somebody's putting in someone's back pocket, and it's not an influencer kind of a deal. It's the industry voting on the best of the best with Dice, and like I said, unfortunately, it doesn't get the attention it deserves because it's not a commercialized thing that the Game Awards has kind of turned into. So I mean, you look at the Game Awards now, there's hardly any. They don't even dedicate time to the awards now. It's basically what, 15 minutes of awards. The rest of it's like one big freaking trailer now.
No, not just trailers, but mostly ads, like
trailers,
all the time. Like I think the that's a pretty good question that Bob has made, but I think that people can be not just because it is a pretty big commercial event, but because also with the time and with the success and the attraction that the people have been having with these events, big companies and big personalities from the gaming industry acknowledge the Game Awards as this is the Oscar of the gaming industry, and so people end up believing that when it's just an event. Like, a prize is a prize, and don't get me wrong, it's good to receive prizes, but to say that I think the problem with the Game Awards is when someone says that this game is good because it received this award, and this game is bad because it didn't receive this award. So, like, I think this is so bizarre. I'm not trying to point out by saying that, oh, I'm talking bad about ponies. No, I'm talking actually about the people that really acknowledges the Game Awards the same way as they like to acknowledge Metacritic and scores as the best way for me to see if a game is good or bad. Instead of me trying out the game, experimenting, and see if it is worth my time by playing it, I just see an event, and if the game receives a prize or a good score, then that's it. That means the game is good, and I'm
Well,
happy with that.
the Dice
Makes no
Awards aren't
sense.
really like if a game's good or not. It's like, is this game like, is it art good? It's like, this game got best art. Is like this game like best like design technically, like it got award for the best like technical like application, whatever. It's like, it's more of like
Ah,
industry stuff, not
you
like
mean is
necessarily like
you
fan
mean
votes and
is
stuff.
you mean it's way more focused on the development of the game instead
Yeah.
of the game itself. Ah, interesting. Okay, nice.
Ooh, Fabio learned something.
Yeah, yeah. You learn something new every day. And who is here? Who just said here in the chat here of the?
What?
There's someone who said here.
Oh, the
The big man.
co-host decided to drop in.
There we go.
What's
There we
going
go.
on, guys? Good to be back here. Sorry for the late arrival.
Well, I just wanna say.
Late arrival.
I just wanted to say.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, so stop streaming. We are going to restart this, and then we're going to talk.
Let's restart the
everything
show in 10,
Right.
9.
XBL Party Podcast, take 2.
back. There we go. There we
Oh,
go.
Lord.
Elden Ring, part 3.
This was wait a second. What do you mean part 3? It's like part 100 because Jesus for Christ, we don't
Yeah?
stop talking about that.
What are we talking about, guys?
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Oh,
More
wow.
Elden Ring.
Of course, Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You and the
Onion
rest
ring,
of
cock
Twitter
ring,
and
wedding
YouTube.
ring, engagement ring, all the rings. Lord of the Rings.
Man, that game that game made a splash, did it not? I will give it that. It's not for me, but kudos to everybody. It looks like it's making pretty big waves. Excited for other people's excitement, I guess.
It's not for you because you haven't had Bob there saving your ass.
Well, I see. Here's the thing. Okay, so Power Man jumped into Sekiro, and Sekiro, it kind of broke me. I won't lie. That game is so hard. That game is.
Why are you guys talking in the third person?
Well,
Yeah, I
because,
was
we
I was
just
like,
have
does
to
he
make
do
sure.
that normally? But
No, but I'm just saying that
So I tried to
Sekiro
make
is just
sure
so
who is
hard.
who.
Like it's incredibly difficult. I've been talking to people like in the Souls that are into Souls games, and I still haven't found anybody that beat that final boss, at least in my circle. So I'm like, I mean, like I'm glad that people like it, but am I really gonna like put a whole lot of time into it and enjoy it? Probably not. But that's just me. I have a weird preference for games, but I'm glad that it's doing well. Looks like it's pretty cool. So.
Wait a second. Looks like it's pretty cool. You spent an entire episode talking how excited you were because you loved Game
Well,
of
yeah,
Thrones.
I listen. I was excited about Game of Thrones. I love that lore and that story. But I personally I don't really like the whole Dark Souls formula. I mean, that's just me. That may be a hot take, but it's not really a game for me. So I gave it a shot. I gave it a shot, and I'm like, I don't really see myself investing a whole lot of time into it. So, but yeah, kudos to everybody that's hyped for it. I'm glad.
Did you guys see this from Nibel? He posted this. Elden Ring so far has had 2.5 times as many sales as Horizon Forbidden West, biggest non-COD FIFA game since Red Dead 2, and week 1 sales bigger than Cyberpunk 2077 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
yeah, and it's had more active players than every other peak Souls game and like From Software game ever on Steam. It was like 800,000 peak players or something like that, and like if you combine every other From Software game, it doesn't even reach that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very successful for sure. Probably be their best yet.
I'm sure it
Like I
already is.
told you, Power. It's because you didn't have K.Y Bob there saving your ass.
Yeah, I mean, I wrestled with a couple of like, little mini bosses and stuff like that. I just, I don't know. I didn't know how far into it I was going to invest, and I'm pretty deep into the Witch Queen, so I'm playing a lot of that, and I don't know. Maybe I'll get back around to it.
You will. Bob will suck you in.
Yeah,
I'll be your rock.
yeah. I think it'd be a lot more fun co-op. I think like that's where I thought they, like Sekiro. I always thought could have used a co-op mode. It would have been a lot of fun instead of just like utilizing NPCs to fight bosses.
I think the thing with co-op though is like if you bring a second person in, like that boss scales to 2 players, so like the boss is still going to be just as hard. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't actually think it does.
Did you guys see this one? New article developing here. I'm just catching wind of it now. I'm like, this must be blame everybody month, is it? Because Activision is blaming the Microsoft deal for their inability to hire another woman onto the board of directors.
Wow. What?
Yeah, you guys want the link to the article? I'll bring it up to you. I'll put it in the private chat.
Microsoft is just going to answer. Wait till next year, you fucking bitch, till we own you.
Yeah, right. Like who gave you permission to talk?
I mean, I'm not saying that. Oh yeah, Microsoft should.
Wait,
should,
did you say she was trying to get into the board of directors?
No, they're blaming the Microsoft deal on their inability to hire a woman.
I put the link in private chat. If you guys want to check it out.
I really don't think that Microsoft has anything to do with this, but
But it's blame Microsoft week. Now it's blame Halo for Battlefield.
But what the fuck's going on? Is everyone now
Blame Phil
blaming
Spencer
everyone?
for too many acquisitions.
Damn you, Phil.
They can't get their story straight. 1 minute Halo is dead. The next minute Halo is the reason Battlefield died. They don't know what to call it at this point.
Don't talk about Halo.
Well, right now, Elden Ring is the reason why Forbidden West won't get Game of the Year.
Don't talk about Halo. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, at this point, they pretty much Elden Ring's got the VGAs locked. I can't see anything knocking it off.
Starfield will just have to be flawless.
Yeah.
And it'll have to come out before the date.
I think it does. It's the 11th. As when Starfield.
By the way,
what's the cutoff for the VGAs? Like, what's the date? Because wasn't there something that came out? Yeah, was it Jedi Fall? Wasn't Jedi Fallen Order like right around that same time? Yeah.
I think the cutoff date might be like November 15th or some shit, or it usually is. So it's like right there. And Forza 5 got cut off last year. It was like people wanted that to be like voted for like best racing game or some shit, wasn't it? And there's like.
It's going to be close. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very interesting fall. And I welcome it because although I have more games that I can finish, I still want more. Give me more. I want you to bury that Xbox has no games as far down in the ground as you can bury it. Please.
Yeah, I mean, we could use as many as possible. I think that the cadence at this point should be at least one AAA every quarter once they get rolling. You know what I mean? Once these these acquisitions really start, showing fruit and putting out content. So I think it'll be good. I mean, the more the merrier, right? I mean, at the end of the day, our backlog's only gonna get bigger. So.
Yeah, and it's not going anywhere. It's not like
my brown log keeps getting bigger too.
Every day.
That only happens when you eat Chinese food. Just Chinese food. That's all.
Toilet clogger. The
right.
achievement.
Oh yeah. All right, guys. I think this brings us to the end of our episode. And
Bowerman is like, okay, we're gonna end it.
Hey, and goodbye.
I do thank Power Man for making it. My right hand man.
Yeah, man.
Couldn't do it without you, brother.
Don't do that again.
If I'm not starting it, If I'm not starting it up, I'm closing it out, brother.
Yep.
But our hearts go out to those in need in the world, and keep gaming. Gaming is what crosses that divide and brings us all together to play together and to talk together. And on that note, Powerman 4K, where can people find you at, brother?
You can find me right here at 9 o'clock on Thursdays, chopping it up with you and everybody on the panel. Other than that, you can catch me on Twitter at Powerman4K and on YouTube at Powerman4K.
All right. And Jasper Gaming, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can check me out, Jasper_Gaming_ on Twitter, Jasper Gaming on YouTube. Wednesday nights, I do Fun Pop podcast on Fun Speculations channel. We talk about comics, stuff like that. And then tomorrow night, Xbox Ultimate on the same channel, Fun Speculation. We just talk about Xbox news kind of like this. So check that out if you want more Xbox podcasts.
I am a big fan of both of them, sir. That's right. And Fabio, where can people find you at?
You can find me here at the XBL Party USA. Maybe sometimes if I have the time, because of the time zones here in Brazil in comparison with the UK. You can find me on the UK show. You can find me on Saturdays every time that we manage to do a gaming live stream. You can find me on Xbox as BlueFamilyuser8, as well as on Twitter as @FBOAmorim97. And that's it.
Let's see.
Our
And-
logos disappeared.
Yeah.
Huh?
There we go. Beautiful.
Yeah, we did. That's
have-
all right. I got it.
We just
And
stole them.
Noof Nukem, where can people find you and Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Well, you guys always know where to find me when I'm not hanging out with you fine chaps. Just you can find me on Tuesday nights at Gaming After Dark. That is 10 Eastern, 8 Mountain Time. And Good Morning Xbox on Sunday mornings at 9 Eastern, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. And yes, Arnold is always lurking. Just sometimes you just have to let him know when he needs to make an appearance. Arnold, where are you always at? I'm in the way that you guys want me to be. I can be on any podcast show. Just let me know when you want me to be there, and I'm going to come out there and I'm going to kick ass taking names. That's what I do, and I'm going to do it very well. But right now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like everybody else, about 95% of the population, when they're not, whatever, eating or pleasuring themselves. I'm going to get in front of my television set now and I'm going to play some of that Elden Ring because I really want to feel what it's like to get kicked in the nuts. I'm going to do it. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to bitch at the game. I'm going to throw the controller, but I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it some more and then I'm going to kick some ass. And I'll come back here and tell you how I feel about it.
Run for the chopper! And while we're running for the chopper, Slayer exclusive, where can we find you?
Make an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice later.
No, I'm good. I can't beat that. Definitely not. But yeah, I'll be here, with you guys every Thursday on the XBL USA show. And other than that, you can find me on my own YouTube channel on Slate Exclusive Gaming and on Twitter. And sometimes, I also do some reviews for the XBL Party Podcast YouTube channel as well. So yeah, so those places pretty much that's about it.
And thank you to all of our panelists and all of our guests. And as we close the XBL Party USA show, episode 16, I just want to remind everybody, be excellent to your fellow human being. It was nice to be seen by all of you, and it was nice to see all of you. Everybody have a good night and have a good weekend. Goodbye.
Great
Have a good one,
rehearsal,
everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Great rehearsal, everyone. Now let's get to start this episode. Let's do this.